Let it be known that from this day forward, Branded is no longer a brain-dead deck. You're no longer going to be activating your Branded Fusion, summon Lubellion, summon Mirrorjade, past the turn. No. You're going to be activating your Branded Fusion. Yeah, let me go check the f***ing spreadsheet. So here's today's deck list. Now just a reminder before we get into the deck list, if you guys are enjoying today's video and want to see more content just like this in the future, especially if you're a returning viewer, so apparently about 35% of you are watching this or even subscribed to the channel, means 65% of you haven't even clicked that button yet. So if you guys are enjoying this kind of content and want to see more videos just like this one, I have a whole bunch planned around the latest selection pack coming out later, including a new Sprite update with a new Elite monster, and a Springans deck list as well. So if you're interested in seeing that content as well as more videos from me in the future, then leave a like on this video and consider subscribing. Alright, let's get into this deck list. Alright, so for this deck list, I'm not going to go through every single card in here, as that would be silly, since most of you have played Branded before, so I'm not going to go through any of the old cards. What I am going to go through is, of course, all the brand new additions in this deck list, starting off with the main deck. So the first one is going to be your Blazing Cartesia. This card, if you control a Fallen Albaz or one is in your graveyard, you can just special summon this card straight to the field. During the main phase, this is your turn or your opponent's turn, you can just fusion summon out one level 8 or higher fusion monster using monsters from your hand or field as material. During the end phase, if a fusion monster was sent to your graveyard this turn, you can add this card back to your hand. So it's a recurring monster that you can keep using to fusion summon during your turn or during your opponent's turn. As you'll see during the combo portion, you use this card quite a lot. And this is also the main reason we're playing 3 copies of Fusion Deployment now, because Fusion Deployment can just grab this thing straight from your deck list. Also keep in mind you can grab your Fallen of Albaz as well, if you want to do a quick fusion summon using your opponent's monsters. Alright, next up we have your Bystial Magnahut or Pizza Hut, or however you want to pronounce this card. This card, just like all your Bystials, when your opponent has a light or dark monster in the graveyard, or you have one in the graveyard, you can just banish that card to special summon this thing straight from your hand. And if your opponent controls a monster, you can just summon this thing as a quick effect. If this card is special summoned, you can activate this effect. During the end phase, add one dragon monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand, which is basically just add one of your Bystials straight to your hand. Then we have your Bystial Saronir. This card, like the other one, exact same effect. You can just target a light or dark in graveyard, banish it, summon it to the field. Then if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can send one Bystial or one branded spell and trap card from your deck to your graveyard, which is very useful as it allows you to send cards like your Retribution, which is really good at bringing back some of your branded spell and trap cards from your graveyard, as you'll see during some of the combos in the video. Alright, then we have your Druiswurm. Once again, same sort of banish effect, special summon itself, and this card, if it is sent to the graveyard, you can target one special summon monster your opponent controls, and just put it in the graveyard, so pretty good. And finally, we have your Bystial Lubellion, or your final Bystial. This card can just be special summoned by tributing off a level 6 or higher dark dragon monster from your field. Then in doing so, you can activate this card's effect to then place one branded continuous spell and trap card from your deck face up on the field. Also, when this card is in your hand, you can just discard it to grab any other of your Bystials straight from your deck. So it's a search for any other Bystial, and it's also a good way to get a hold of a copy of your Branded Lost. You'll see this card quite a lot during the gameplay portion as well. It's one of the main targets you're actually going to be sending with your Branded Fusion now. Alright, and the final new addition to the main deck is going to be your Branded Beast. This card, once per turn during the main phase, if you control a Bystial monster, you can just tribute one dragon monster, target one card your opponent controls, and destroy it. During the end phase, you can target one branded continuous spell / trap in your graveyard, place it face up on the field. Not going to come up that often, unless of course this card is for some reason in your graveyard. Moving on to the extra deck, we now have 2 brand new fusion monsters. The first one's going to be your... I'm not even going to bother trying to pronounce this card, the Dusk Dragon. This takes a Blazing Cartesia plus 1 light or dark monster. If this card is fusion summoned, it sends one level 6 or higher light or dark monster from your deck or extra deck to the graveyard, which is obviously really goddamn useful, as you'll see during the combo portion of the video, because you can send things like your Albion to get searches, send things like your Brigrand to get searches, and you can send things like your Albion the Shrouded Dragon to also get searches. Plenty of things, and it's pretty important because it means you won't have to use your Mirrorjade's effect as often on turn 1, because you can send your Albion via other means, as you'll see during the gameplay portion. Alright, it then has a second effect. Now the second effect, it's kind of useful, but not really that useful. You'll see in a lot of the combos, you basically get this thing off the field a lot of the time, just because its second effect, it's not that useful. It's kind of nice, but it's not that great. Basically, if a monster is special summoned by your opponent's activated monster effect, you can banish this card from your field or graveyard to special summon one Dogmatica monster from your deck or one Despian monster from your extra deck. So there's obviously no Dogmaticas in here, so you're grabbing Despian monsters from the extra deck, which your targets aren't exactly the greatest. We have, of course, your Burn Dragon if you like. You can summon out your attack reducer and your Quaeritis, and you can summon out your copy of Despian Tragedy, which can then quick effect target cards in your opponent's graveyard and summon them to your field, which is probably the best of the three options. But in general, it's mostly going to be used for its first effect. But it does have that second effect, so keep that in mind. It's pretty useful, especially when it's in the graveyard. Alright, and finally we have your Rindbrumm. I think that's how you pronounce it. This takes a Fallen of Albaz plus 1 Beast, Beast Warrior, and Beast Monster, which in this case is going to be your Mercourier. Alright. When a fusion, synchro, exceeds, or link monster effect is activated, quick effect, you can negate the effect, then you can return one monster from the field to the hand. And that's, by the way, an optional effect, which is really important because this card can actually be used to negate your own Mirrorjade's effect, which will then still allow you to send things like this dude to the graveyard for your search without actually using your Mirrorjade's effect. So Mirrorjade's effect is still active for the following turn. You'll see that during the combo portion if that didn't make any sense. But it's a really funny little interaction going on there. And of course, it's still a negate to use during your opponent's turn as well. During your opponent's turn, while this card is in your graveyard, quick effect, you can target one Fallen of Albaz in your graveyard, special summon either that monster or this card, and banish the other, which is obviously really cool as you can self-recur this monster back to the field to then use for more negates, or you can summon back your Fallen of Albaz for sort of a weird Super Poly style effect where you use your opponent's field to do a fusion summon into whatever you like. Alright guys, that's going to do it for all the new cards. If I missed one in here, don't worry, I'm pretty sure I use all these cards during the replay portion anyway, so I'll go through it then and explain all the cards as I'm using them. Also, if you're new to this deck and you've never played Branded before, don't worry, again, I think all these cards I'm going to be using during the combo portion anyway, so you'll probably see just about how all these different effects work anyway during that portion. And yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. So before we get into it, just like in my previous branded combo video I showed just a couple of days ago, we're going to be using this spreadsheet here, which is created by a guy named Vector in the Master Duel Meta Discord, and I will leave a link to this spreadsheet at the top of the description, because you're going to need this spreadsheet if you want to play this deck list and you've never played it before, because there are so many different combos in this deck. Just look at them all. These are all different combos, by the way, and these are all little dueling book replays that show you all the combos step by step, and there are so many of them. I can't show you them all in this video as that would be silly. I'll be showing you quite a few of them, quite a few of which are going to be different from the ones that I showed you in the last combo video that I uploaded earlier this week, if you're curious about that. In fact, I think nearly all of them are. I think only 2 are the same, so I'll be showing you, I think, 6 combos or 5 different combos from this list, basically going through a couple of the more common ones. But in general, you're going to need this list. So top of the description, I'll leave a link to this Google Doc. Please save it if you plan to play this deck list, as you're going to need to go through each of these things step by step, sometimes even when you're trying to play the duels out, as there's just so many different steps, so many different combos depending on your starting hand, and this spreadsheet is a fantastic resource to go to. And yeah, without further ado, let's get into the actual combos now. Alright, on to our first combo. So our first combo is simply going to be an Aluber plus a discard. So as per usual when I do these combo tutorials, pretend the rest of my hand is just complete bricks, pretend all these cards are Beaver Warrior, and we've just got Aluber. Alright, so normal summon Aluber, giving you a search for, of course, Branded Fusion. And this is where things are going to look a little bit different to your standard branded plays you might not have seen before. Because we're going to summon out the light monster first, or the monster that needs a light target. So your Albion, the Branded Dragon. Summoning him to the field using your Bystial Lubellion. And of course your Albaz. And this is important because you want to have a dragon on the field in a second, because you're going to use that as a tribute in a second, as you'll see. Alright, using his effects for a fusion summon, using the Aluber on field, and of course the Albaz in graveyard to make your Lubellion. This is why you need a discard in hand. So using your Albaz and your Aluber on field, because you want to keep the dragon there. And now we're going to go into Mirrorjade through this guy, as per pretty standard stuff you've seen in Branded before. So discard whatever card you've got, and there is your Mirrorjade. And this is going to be an active Mirrorjade, by the way, because as part of this combo, unlike with some of the other standard branded combos you might be used to, you're not going to be using your Mirrorjade during this turn to send your Albion to the graveyard, because it's already going to end up in the graveyard anyway, as you'll see. Alright, so there's the Mirrorjade. So we have a banish for our opponent's turn, and of course we're now going to use your Bystial Lubellion engrave to tribute off your dragon, summoning himself to the field, which will now give you a search for the other trap card you can use during your opponent's turn to remove one of your opponent's cards, the Branded Beast. Alright, and then we go to the end phase, of course. Because we've got that dude in graveyard, we can use this effect. Then grab whatever branded card you like, depending on what your hand is. You can go for a copy of Branded in red, you can go for a copy of Branded Retribution, whatever you feel like. In this case, I'm going to grab Branded in red, and I'm just going to set that on the field. But it's up to you whatever card you feel like grabbing. Alright, and that is going to be your end field. You have an active Mirrorjade to banish anything you like. You have whatever branded spell and trap card you like. In this case, I can make a Chimera during my opponent's turn, or I could have grabbed the Retribution and used that trap card's effect as well. And of course, we have Branded Beast, which is going to be popping a card on our opponent's field by using this Bystial Lubellion we have already set up. And that is just a standard 1 card plus 1 discard combo. Alright, on to combo number 2. This one's going to be a 2-card combo using your Bystial Lubellion in combination with one of your standard starters, whether that be Branded Fusion, your Aluber to search Branded Fusion, or Branded Opening, which could search your Aluber to search Branded Fusion. So, in this case, we're going to start by using your Bystial to search for your Pizza Hut. Wherever he is, your Pizza Hut over here, adding him to hand. Alright, now we're going to normal summon our Aluber, giving us our Branded Fusion. And that to hand. And now we can use our Branded Fusion to summon out the big new fusion monster, which is going to be using a Mercourier in deck. So using your Mercourier in combination with your Albaz. So chuck him out in the field. Alright, from here we can now use our Pizza Hut in hand to banish the light monster in the graveyard to summon himself to the field. And this will trigger 2 effects. One is a search for a Bystial during the end phase, and the other is going to be a search for your Kitt, as you'll see in a second. So we'll chain block in this order because I want to have my Kitt search protected. But I'm pretty sure your opponent would have Ash Blossom by now on the Branded Fusion, so it doesn't really matter. Alright. Adding your Kitt to hand. From here, we can now use your copy of... Oh, sorry, you can summon this guy to the field first. Because you have a card on field that has Albaz in its name, you can just slam this man on the field. And this will give you a search for your fusion spell, which will be Branded in white. Now, using the Pizza Hut on field, I'll say to return a card to deck first. Doesn't matter which one you send, just of course not the Branded in white. Now we can summon back our Lubellion, tributing the dragon on field. And this will give us our Branded Continuous spell. Activating the Lubellion's effect, giving us our Branded Lost. Alright, now we can use our Branded in white. Fusion summoning out a copy of your, wherever it is, your Lubellion, using your Fallen of Albaz in graveyard, and of course your Kitt on field. Alright, so needing another discard here to make the Mirrorjade. But of course, your Branded Lost will now get its effect for a search for another Mercourier, which is why we're running 2 Mercourier in this deck list, by the way, because one's going to be banished, but you're still going to need a search from your Branded Lost quite often. And of course, Fusion Summoning as well. Discarding whatever card. Alright, not going to negate my own combo just yet, but we will actually use this negate, as you'll see in a second. Alright, summoning out Mirrorjade. And grabbing our Mercourier. And this is where things are going to get a little bit weird. Alright, so our Mirrorjade, we're going to use this effect. And then we're going to negate our own Mirrorjade's effect. Now, I don't actually know if you need the toggle on for this or not, but I'm going to keep it on just in case. Going to use our Mirrorjade's effect to send our Albion. This is because we want the search from Albion. Now, we can actually negate our own Mirrorjade here. And it will give you the option to return a card to hand, which we definitely don't want to do. That'd be kind of silly. You could return something else here. Like I think you turn the Aluber, I think, but we're not going to be doing that, so we're just going to not do that for now. And that means, because this card was negated, its effect is still usable during your opponent's turn. It's not being locked by its annoying little lock effect that it normally has. Alright, now we can just go straight to the end phase. Of course, getting 2 effects, one of which is going to be your Albion search for a Branded Spell and Trap card, which can be whatever you like. I'm going to grab my Branded in red, because that's my preferred one. And we can use your Bystial to search for another Bystial from the deck. So in this case, we're going to grab our Saronir over here. or whatever other one you feel like grabbing. And that's your end board. You have a banish during your opponent's turn, you have a negate during your opponent's turn, and you have whatever branded spell and trap card you have set. Could be branded in Lost, could be the branded pop card that uses the Lubellion on field to pop a card, and of course you got your Mercourier in hand for another negate as well. Alright, so this combo is going to be a bit of a weird one, as I basically want to show you what happens if you don't open Branded Fusion, but you open access to your Cartesia, and you have a Saronir in hand, because this card obviously can be searched for via Fusion deployment as well, and let me show you how you can get to Branded Fusion. So, we can normal summon our Cartesia, and we can use this effect using our Saronir in hand, to summon out, of course, our big dragon. Using this dude and a combination of our Saronir, slamming our dragon on the field. Alright, this will give us two effects. Your Saronirs, and you're going to be using your dragon's effect as well. One of which can be sending a branded spell and trap card to the graveyard, the other is actually going to be sending your dragon to the graveyard. And sending your branded card as well, wherever it is. The branded trap card, your branded Retribution. Now, this card in the graveyard can actually be put back into the deck list and also send your Branded Fusion to the graveyard. And now we can use the Branded Retribution in the graveyard to simply give you back that Branded Fusion. Alright, putting that in your hand, and Dragon goes back in the deck. And that's just showing you how to get to the Branded Fusion from there. I'm not going to show you the rest of the plays, it's just going to be your standard sort of Branded Fusion lines that you can look at the combo spreadsheet for, or look at some of the other replays I'll be showing you in this video. But yeah, that's how you can get hold of Branded Fusion if you happen to open those two cards. Alright, this is going to be another 2-card combo, and it's going to be a bit of a quick one compared to some of the other combos I'm about to show you. It's going to be Fusion Deployment in combination with Branded Fusion. Alright, first thing we do, activate Fusion Deployment, summoning your new Cartesia straight to the field. Ready to use later. Now we can use our Branded Fusion to summon out our big dragon over here, our Lubellion. Using, of course, a copy of your... actually going back to Despian Tragedy in combination with your Albaz. Sorry, I forgot for a second there what I'm doing. Alright, summoning out your dude. And we're going to do a lot of chaining here. So we're going to use our Dragon's effect with a discard. Discarding whatever card you like. We're going to use our Despian Tragedy's effect. And then we're also going to chain our dude over here. Alright. And this will give us a fusion summon into your dragon, using your two dudes on field. Getting your dragon over here. Then we get your search, which is going to be for your Libitum. Then we're going to summon out, of course, Mirrorjade, using your two resources from the graveyard. Placing your Mirrorjade on the field. Alright, this card's effect is going to go off to send a card from your deck or extract to the graveyard, or a dragon, I believe. Which in this case is going to be a copy of your Albion. This means you don't have to use your Mirrorjade's effect to get your search off, because you're going to be sending it with this card instead. Alright, then we can just go straight to the end phase, which will give you two effects. Giving you a search for your branded in red, placing that on the field. And this dude gets to add himself back to hand as well. Which is perfect, because we generally want to go into, of course, your Guardian Chimera, which will now have your branded in red, you have your two cards in hand, we have a Mirrorjade banished on field, and of course we have this dude, whose effect isn't that useful. It has a nice little effect where if your opponent activates a monster effect that special summons a monster or something like that, this card can actually swap itself out for a Despian monster in your extra deck, which will generally be a copy of either this dude, or you can go for your Burn Dragon, or you can go for your attack reductioning guy. Generally, it's an effect that you can use, but it's not that prominent yet. I think in the future Despia actually gets like a synchro monster or something that's useful with, but at the moment it doesn't really do all that much. But keep in mind, it does actually exist. So we have one Nod Disruption from your Brand in red, we have a banish from this, we have a resummon from your Despia card as well. On to another 2-card combo. This one's going to use your Aluber in combination with your Brand of Fusion. It's going to look pretty similar to your first combo, just like more of an extension of it. Alright, so first thing we're going to do, activate your Aluber, giving you a search for Branded Lost. Now keep in mind, by the way, if you happen to open Branded Lost, you can just search for Branded Fusion. You just need one of these two cards in combination with this dude. Alright, now we'll activate our Lost, so we can use our Fusion and get a search from the Lost. summoning out your Albion, using your Bystial and your Albaz. And this will give you your Search from your Lost and another Fusion Summon. So chain block this if you want, doesn't really matter too much because pretty sure your opponent would have Ash Blossomed anyway earlier. Alright, giving you a copy of your Mercourier, which is a great hand trap to use during your opponent's turn. And of course summoning out your thing from before. And there's your Albaz, using in combination with your dude on field. All these other cards, by the way, you wouldn't normally have. You would have Mercourier if you want to keep that. So just pretend these other cards weren't here, because they're just bricks or whatever, using your Aluber on field. Of course, giving you a discard to then summon out your Mirrorjade. Discarding whatever. Summoning out your Mirrorjade. Making sure to keep this guy on field because you want to use him in a second. There's your Mirrorjade. Activate your dude in graveyard. Pop your effect. Summon him to the field. Pop your effect. Pop your monster. Now you can use his effect to grab yourself a nice branded beast. Now because we have this card in graveyard, during the end phase, we're going to get the option to use this card's effect. Setting whatever you like to the field. In this case, I'm going to go branded in red. And there is your end field. So we're ending on a Mirrorjade, we're ending on a branded in red, we're ending on a branded beast to pop a card on field, and we have a Mercourier hand trap in hand to negate something as well. Alright, this combo is going to be using a Bystial, literally any Bystial you like, any of your Dark Bystials, in combination with your Aluber. So we're using your Bystial Druiswurm and your Aluber. Alright, so summon your Aluber. This will then search for your branded fusion. Ignore the fact I already have one in hand. Alright, now we can use your branded fusion. So special summon out a copy of your brand new dragon. Is this card even a dragon? I assume it is. Sending you a Mercourier in combination with your Fallen of Albaz. Is this thing a dragon? No, it's a winged beast, sorry. Of course it is, using winged beast as material, of course. Alright, now we can summon out your Bystial. Sending your Mercourier. Slamming him on the field. And this will give you a search from your Mercourier. Mercourier is going to give you a copy of Cartesia. You can actually just summon himself to the field. Which is useful because we want to fusion summon with him, using your Aluber on field. Alright, summoning out your dragon. Using your two cards on field, so using you and you. Alright, now we can use your dragon's effect. And of course, sending a copy of... what are we sending? We're sending a copy of your Albion to the graveyard. And this is where things are going to look a little bit weird, because during the end phase, we're going to be doing a lot of stuff. So this is going to look kind of strange if you've never done this before. So end phase, we're now going to use our copy of your Albion, and we also add this guy back to hand. So Albion, going to be using its effect to grab a copy of your... where is it? Your Brandon Red, sorry, I lost it there for a second. Adding that to hand, so we can instantly use it. We can then activate our Brandon Red's effect, which is going to add back a copy of your Fallen and Albaz. So then we can do a fusion summon, making our Mirrorjade, using our two guys on field here. Then we're going to use the Mirrorjade's effect and negate our own Mirrorjade to send a copy of your Brigrand to the graveyard, negating your own Mirrorjade, so then its effect can still be used during your opponent's turn, and you get a bounce as well. So you can actually bounce back your Bystial, which is of course a nice hand trap. Alright, then we have two other effects. We're going to use our Branded here to search for a Mercourier. So we actually already have I already have the Mercourier in hand. Normally, you'd search for a Mercourier here, but I've actually already banished one, and I happen to open one in my opening hand. So normally here, you'd search for a Mercourier. You wouldn't grab this Albaz. Alright, now we can use this card's effect, which just chucks it back in your hand. And there is your end board. A pretty decent end board from what you started with. You have Mirrorjade's banish, you have a negate from your dragon here, or your winged beast, sorry. We have your hand trap Mercourier, and we of course have a Bystial to then use as your pseudo DD Crow to banish Slay in your opponent's graveyard. Alright guys, that's going to be all the time I have. I would like to show some more combos, but unfortunately Master Duel doesn't really have like a proper simulator to sort of get specific starting hands, so even if I want to show you more combos, it will take me like several hours just to get every single one of the starting hands I need, so I do highly recommend checking out that spreadsheet down below, which shows you the dueling book replays, which are obviously going to be basically just a flat-out explanation showing you how to make all these different end boards using whatever starting hand you have, and you just follow it based on whatever he was doing in those replays. So highly recommend checking that out, especially if you're new to this deck list, as this is going to be a really goddamn hard deck to learn if you've never played Branded before, and if you had played before, these new cards have changed this deck completely, so highly recommend checking out that spreadsheet and just following basically whatever he does step by step until you learn how to play a deck list. Alright guys, thank you guys for watching. I have a bunch more videos based on the latest selection pack out later this week, so if you want to see any of that, remember to like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hope to see you in the next one. Laters.
Hey, big brother, can I watch SpongeBob? Shut up, Mokuba. I'm busy flagging YouTube videos to compensate for the fact that I have an extremely small penis. Oh.